As a series grows, so does the prestige of winning its championships. And that's the motivation for the best in the business. Progressive American Flat Track kicks off 2021.
I'm the best dude here as far as ability-wise.
I really just need to go out there and do one thing, and that's to win.
We worked so hard this year. The team worked so hard.
Let the racing begin.
We're underway. The carrot is there. Can he go after it?
It doesn't take much for a guy to go down.
Wow, that was close. That was the pressure point.
Looking fantastic.
Wow, I did not expect this.
If he ruffles some feathers along the way, so be it.
Can't say these guys aren't tough. They take the win. Unbelievable run. You don't often see domination like this.
How impressive is that?
What a performance.
We haven't been disappointed.
Welcome to the Volusia Half Mile 1, presented by Daytona Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram. It's the opening round for Progressive American Flat Track. Everyone's still chasing Briar Bauman, now 2 championships in a row. And at the top of his list of rivals is Jared Mees, who won the 2 previous titles before that. The veteran versus the new champion. But riders like Brandon Robinson, Jared Vanderkoy over here on the left, they're all hoping to knock those riders off. Jason Wygant here to give you the call, and awesome to have our 2013 Grand National Champion in American Flat Track, Brad Baker, on board with us this year. Brad, it's going to be real fun having you in the booth this year.
Thanks a lot, Jason. I'm really excited to be here to call the action in the 2021 season.
All right, Brad, look, you've raced most of these guys. What are you looking forward to most in this title fight?
I'm looking forward to seeing if anybody can dethrone Jared Mees and Briar Bauman. They're obviously the favorites, but we got Brandon Robinson, Sammy Halbert, JD Beach. These guys are all on their game as well, and I know that they want to go for the championship.
All right, will it be a 2-man fight? Brandon Robinson, by the way, won the 2 races to end the 2020 season, so he's trying to make it clear that he can go after Bauman and Mees. But there are so many changes in this field. Well, Kristen Beat and I caught up earlier to figure them all out.
Jason, what a crazy offseason for Progressive American Flat Track. So many changes, starting with a new sponsor, as Mission Foods is named the entitlement partner of the AFT Super Twins presented by S&S Cycle.
You said it, Kristen, and although there's an old saying that the more things change, the more they stay the same, that's never been more true at the top when it comes to Briar Bauman, as the 2-time defending champ looks to make 3 #1 plates in a row.
But don't forget Jared Mees as he tries to jam his way back to the top of the sport. Now let's talk changes, starting with former champ Brian Smith and younger Bauman brother Bronson. Both will race for Indian Motorcycle as factory-backed privateers.
Kristen, I will see those changes, and I will raise them with this.
James Rospoli takes 4th, and he is going to be your champion for 2020.
Yeah, Hod Spoli Nation, stand up. James Rospoli makes the move to the Mission Super Twins for Harley-Davidson following his Production Twins championship last year, looking to get Harley-Davidson back to the top step of the podium.
Remember Slammin' Sammy Halbert? Well, he returns to Cool Beth Nilo Racing to build on a strong 2020 performance. Jared Vanderkoy makes his debut on an Indian FTR 750 on a 3-rider strong Mission Roof Systems team, and the young gun, Davis Fisher, will be running for BMC Racing with help from his dad, Rex.
And that's only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to storylines in the Mission Super Twins class.
That's right, Jason, so grab the popcorn. We're in store for a show.
Always a question when you come into a season opener, who has done the right things in the offseason? Let's send it back to Kristen Beat, and we'll check in with your defending Mission Super Twins champ.
2 consecutive championships, 6 wins, a career Grand Slam in 2020. Briar, you've done it all. How do you top that now?
Yeah, I've kind of made a pact with myself. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know what to do in any way, shape, or form, but I want to help the sport in whatever way I can. On the track, I don't know if I can top that. I want to win another championship. I want to be successful and continue to be really good, get more wins, and hopefully more Grand Slams. But like I said, my focus has been really serious on getting new people involved in the sport, trying to get more people to see what we do and see that it's actually pretty gnarly and intense and something that's fun to be a part of. So racing is really big to me, but right now I also want to help the sport of American Flat Track.
So let's show you some action here. Highlights of Semi 1. This is qualifying in the Mission Super Twins class. Jared Mees and Brandon Robinson duking it out.
Yeah, Brandon Robinson is showing what he left off in qualifying. Got by Briar Bauman, and it's just haunting Jared Mees here. Gets a good run on going into turn 3, slides up the inside, takes the lead. from there on out, he just puts his head down. He's able to keep the bike rolling and just comes home with a dominant win.
Wow, when you pass Mies and Bauman and pull away from them, that is a real statement. And again, Robinson won in Florida the last 2 rounds of last year, so he has some momentum. He's carrying it through. It's a good battle here between Sammy Halbert and JD Beach in Semi 2.
Yeah, Sammy Halbert gets a whole shot. Davis Fisher sitting there in second, slips a little wide, lets JD get the good run coming off of turn 4, takes over second, and then JD comes back on Sammy Halbert and takes over the lead. It's awesome to see JD with his Essen Yamaha being able to run up front. Bike's hooking up. Sammy Halbert almost gets him there at the end.
Yeah, that's the kind of good racing we expect in Progressive American Flat Track. Back and forth, and Beach with a narrow victory over Halbert. Get a rematch with them in the main event. But first, a new addition to Progressive American Flat Track. This is the Mission Foods Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge, a 4-lap shootout with our 4 best from the semi with some big bucks on the line.
Yeah, this is really exciting for these riders. Put a $5,000 carrot in front of their face and have them go at it for 4 laps. It's going to be really exciting.
Yep, winner take all 4-lap shootout. These are the 4 riders he saw up front of the semis. Mies, Halbert, Beach with a great launch on that 95 Yamaha, Robinson in the 44, and here we go.
JD, yeah, with the awesome hole shot. Don't really see him not getting the hole shot on that Essen Yamaha. Takes over going into turn 3. Sammy Halbert gets taken over by Brandon Robson, slides underneath him for second.
And there's Mies now tucking it in. The hole created by Robinson. Mies takes over third, and that's the kind of action you like in AFT.
Yeah, these riders got to make moves really quick. Only 4 laps, not a lot of time to get it done. Brandon Robinson wants to take home the first win in this Too Fast, Too Tasty Mission Super Twins.
Ooh.
That was a great run going into turn 3. Takes over. Let's see if JD's able to square him back up. Not quite.
If you haven't watched this type of racing before, prepare to be amazed. It's a game of inches and the trust these guys have with each other when they're battling. That was so close, and somehow Robinson found an opening.
Yeah, it sure is, Jason, but now he's putting his head down. Gut's probably about 3-4 bike lengths on him. See if Jared Mies is able to get by JD now.
Robinson, fast in qualifying, fast in his semi, now getting away from Beach, Mies, and everyone else in this Too Fast, Too Tasty challenge. What a statement. $5 grand on the line for the first time as we roll out this new format for 2021. And here's the man who's gonna take it, the 44, Brandon Robinson.
Yeah, this is just a showing what he might be able to do in the main event. These guys are gonna be going back to the pit area, shaking their heads, wondering what they're gonna have to do to be able to compete against him.
Let's send it to Kristen.
Big thanks to Mission Foods for putting this up for us. This Too Fast, Too Tasty Dasher Cash is gnarly. It's not a lot of time to make passes, and we made them. Feeling great. Mission Foods, Roof Systems, HCRR, Indian is working awesome. Ben Evans has me dialed in, and I'm just having a lot of fun right now. So this $5 grand is going to go a long way. I'm getting married in December, so.
All right, he's got a long season to keep building up that bank account. Brandon Robinson has pretty much been the fastest man on track every time they've gone out there. We'll see him later in the Mission Super Twins main. We are transitioning to AFT Singles class. Stay with us. Progressive American Flat Track is brought to you by Daytona Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, the presenting sponsor of the Volusia Half Mile. By Mission Foods. Mission Foods has you covered with race day recipes that are too fast, too tasty. And by Progressive. Progressive insures over 5 million boats, motorcycles, and RVs. Get a quote in under 4 minutes at AmericanFlatTrack.com/Progressive. So we've seen some qualifying in the Mission Super Twins class. Let's talk AFT Singles with some of the rising stars of this championship. Once again, let's chat with Kristen Beat. Dallas Daniels, race to the checkers, pulls it out again. Dallas Daniels has won the AFT Singles Championship in his first full season.
Does that sound familiar? The young phenom Dallas Daniels returns on his Estenson Yamaha looking for back-to-back championships with teammate Mikey Rush right behind him looking to take it away.
Well, speaking of familiar sounds, listen to this. Yes, the winningest rider in AFT Singles history, Shayna Texter Bauman, had a big offseason in her own right. She got married to longtime boyfriend Briar Bauman, the 2-time and defending champ in Mission Super Twins. And she has a new teammate as the young Australian Maxwell joins the Red Bull KTM factory race team, making for a true duo to be reckoned with.
One more thing before we move on. You cannot forget the star-studded lineup of Henry Wiles, Cole Zabala, and Trevor Bruner from Turner Racing as they jump on their factory-backed Hondas and chase the championship. So hold on to your seats, people. The AFT Singles division is going to be crazy.
You know, it always is crazy and unpredictable, including the fact that a rookie ended up not just winning, but dominating last year's championship. Here's Kristen with our champ.
A fairy tale season for Dallas Daniels, who won the 2020 championship in the AFT Singles class. Dallas, last year at this time, the season opener, you missed the main event. How much have you grown since that time?
I think in just that first night alone, we grew a bunch. You know, obviously not making the main event and winning the second one, I think we proved a big point that it was just kind of an off night for us. It was nothing to do with the team or the motorcycle, like I've said multiple times. It was just me. This off season, I've just, you know, been doing my training, everything normal, but I've been trying to focus on, like, mentally. Obviously, I know I have the speed, just trying to make sure I don't make any silly mistakes. Like, thinking after winning the championship now, I'm thinking more at a championship standpoint, like, it's okay to get a fifth, get the points, move on to the next race. You know, you don't need to, you're not going to win every race, or I don't want to say that, you definitely can, but if you're not going to, no need to throw it away trying to. So, I mean, just looking to have a good result here and move on.
So we'll show you some action in the AFT Singles Class Semi-1. It's one of the qualifiers, and fresh onto the Red Bull KTM factory squad, Max Whale, who won the season opener last year in the 18, battling his teammate Shayna Texter-Bauman.
Yeah, these two starting off exactly the way they want to. Shayna's haunting Max, gets a good run off of turn 4, but just comes up short, and Max brings home the semifinal win.
All right, welcome to the team. They go 1-2. Tanner Dean, Michael Ingerbitsen, and Mikey Rush round out the top 5. They will all be contenders later. Let's go to semi number 2. There's Dallas Daniels with a now #1 plate on his Yamaha.
Yeah, Brandon Kitchen has an early lead on the new Husqvarna, but got Dallas Daniels, the defending champ, right in tow. Gets a good run coming off of turn 4, trying to get by BK.
Kitchen hangs on, beat the champ, and Trent Lowe ends up in 3rd. Another one of the young riders moving up in this championship. So this will be fun to watch as we get ready for the main. Daniels, again, dominated last year, but he didn't qualify for the main at the opener. So just wants to get this thing started the right way. Shayna Texter really excited about the bike changes they made in the off season. So she's ready to go. Send it to Kristen.
This is Max Whale's debut on the Red Bull Factory KTM, and after slipping off the groove in qualifying, he went on to claim a win in his semi. Usually there's a learning curve whenever a rider moves to a new bike, especially for a younger rider like Max Whale, due to the dramatically different chassis between the Kawasaki, which he won on here in Volusia last year, and KTM. You would expect there to be a learning curve, right? Well, not the case for Max Whale. He told me this off season he hit the ground running. He never took a vacation or time off. This is the opportunity he wanted his whole life. I asked KTM team manager Chris Fillmore what he saw in Max Whale. He said his attitude is what this team needed. He is not satisfied with second, a ferocity that he is bringing to this team, and you could even argue it's elevating Shayna's expectations as well. She will also be starting from the front row in this singles main event.
Thanks. Kind of a disappointing season for Texter-Bauman last year, so she's really looking for a rebound. You know you're going to contend with Daniels. You got some other names that can get up in there?
Yeah, I'd like to take a look out for Tanner Dean. He's got 3 wins to his credit. He's been looking really smooth along with Trent Lowe on the Suzuki, Wally Brown Racing.
And there is Lowe in the second row on that number 48. See the Suzuki S there. Lots of contenders, and everyone believes they're in it. They're all tied in points. It's the opening round for AFT Singles here from Volusia. Let's go racing. Oh, and a great launch for both KTMs, and Shayna Texter-Bauman with a hole shot. Wow, not normally her specialty, and that's a great launch.
Yeah, definitely a great start by Shayna Texter. That's not what the competition behind her wanted to see. She has clean air in front of her. See if she's able to set sail.
And you got Dallas Daniels up to 3rd on the Estenson Yamaha, so big names up front early. It's a perfect setup. Let's get some action in here in Florida.
Yeah, definitely shaping up to be a great race so far. Dallas Daniels definitely needs to get in the second as soon as he can. Shayna Texter, she's been a girl on a mission today.
Oh yeah, big changes to the motorcycle from where they were running it last year. It's paid off so far. Mikey Rush, no stranger to winning races here in the Sunshine State. He's up to 4th and looking for running room around his teammate Daniels.
Yeah, you can see Max Whale, he's definitely slipping around a lot more than Shayna Texter. You see her keeping her wheels in line, not really busting traction, where Max is having a lot more issues, especially in the center of the corner. You can see here, see if he does it the same as he did that before. Yeah, right there, he's just sliding a little bit more and just losing a lot of time on Shayna.
Shayna now starting to stretch it out. And Wales got to watch. Got two Yamahas looking to gang up on him. They distance themselves a bit from the rest of the field at the moment, but see if they slow each other up as they start battling.
Definitely, Jason. This is a track all about momentum. You want to keep your wheels in line, keep those wheels rolling. Anytime that you start to get a little bit sideways, you're losing time, and that's something that Shayna's really good at doing.
Okay, but Whale now has kind of stabilized that gap. She's not pulling away from him any further on board. You can see the distance between her and her teammate.
Definitely. It's, yeah, they got to keep their wheels in line, keep on moving forward, or she's getting clean air in front of her and looking smooth.
Okay, so you're talking about traction and keeping that bike straight. How much is this surface and the grip going to change as this race goes on?
It's probably going to get a little bit better, actually. The more rubber that gets laid down, the more and the tires get warmed up, a little bit more grip that you get. But you don't want to get those tires too warm. They got to conserve those tires, because if you get them too hot, then they'll go the other way around. So it's definitely a matter of, you know, pacing yourself and not getting the tire too hot.
Yeah, is this a relatively abrasive surface? Is that a factor?
Yeah, very abrasive. You can see that darker line there. That's what we call the groove, and all that is rubber being laid down. So yeah, it's very abrasive on these tires.
Oh, here's something abrasive. Whale wanted to focus in on the lead, but instead he's got to deal with the rider behind him. Dallas Daniels is looking to go and get to that second spot. He's got an opening.
And Dallas, he's trying to do a little bit of a high-low maneuver. You see him come in just a tad bit higher, coming into the corner and trying to get it turned to get that run off the corner, but just not quite enough to seal it up at the end of the straightaway.
So you think, is Whale holding Daniels up? Is Daniels like, I got to get around this guy and go for the leader?
I definitely think he's holding him up a little bit. You can see Shayna, she's starting to pull away, and that's just making both Mikey Rush and Dallas Daniels a little bit more antsy, because they know they got to get around Whale, not let her get away.
Oh yeah, the Estenson Yamaha boys gonna try to make a 2-for-1 here. Can they get around Whale? Whale clinging to the bottom of that groove, and Daniels keeps crossing him up.
And you can see when Dallas kind of makes that tighter turn, it's bust sideways a little bit. Oh, we got a red flag here.
Wow.
Looks like it's a red bike down. Maybe Henry Wiles.
Oh no, that's a new effort with Honda. Henry Wiles considered to be a title contender. I haven't seen anything yet. Hope he's okay. There he is. All right.
Got the chain off the motorcycle. That's pretty uncharacteristic. I wonder if the crash made that chain pop off. I mean, Brian Bigelow, his mechanic, is one of the best in the business. That's yeah, something you want to see.
A bummer. That's going to be a huge loss of points for the veteran Wiles. And we are going to restart. Shayna Texter's going to have to do the work again, trying to win from the front. Progressive American Flat Track here on NBCSN. We have a red flag. Henry Wiles went down and the chain came off the motorcycle. Now Wiles, third in the points last year, led the series for a while. This is huge if he cannot get back in this race, and it doesn't look good, Brad.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not a good start of the season for Henry Wiles.
Gonna take a 0 in points. Meanwhile, it's restart time, and we're on board with our leader, Shayna Texter Bauman. The gap she built is gone. She's got to hold off her teammate Max Whale. Dallas Daniels in the field again.
Yeah, another great start for Shayna Texter. That's always nerve-wracking when you got to repeat that start, but she pulled it off great.
And already starting to stretch it, but you see the change. Dallas Daniels with a quick pass on Whale.
Yeah, Dallas Daniels, he capitalizes on that restart, gets by Whale early. Now he has to try to step up the pace and keep up with Shayna Texter here.
All right, well, talking to Shayna a couple of days ago and everyone involved with their team, they were very confident they were going to be a lot better this year. She won 3 races in 2019, didn't win any last year. But the ultimate test, can she hold off last year's dominant champ? Oh, wait a minute, it might not be Daniels. Whale's trying to come back for second.
Yeah, Whale, he's poking it up in there going into turn 1. Just wasn't quite able to do it. These riders, look at Mikey Rush. He goes up underneath, slips a little wide. Look at Max, tries squaring up, and Mike said no, shuts the door.
Side by side, Tanner Dean in this fight as well. He's getting around that high line, and they all got Whale.
He tried going around the outside, just slipped a little wide, wasn't able to take it over, but that's a good run by Tanner Dean as well.
So I'd say Dean took advantage of the restart the most. There was a pretty big gap from 4th to 5th. Now he's right there. Whale has been demoted off a podium spot. He's going to want to come back. And we'll see if the 15 of Rush can make a move toward the leaders.
Yeah, Maxwell doesn't want his teammate to be the only one on the podium here.
Some pretty aggressive racing for the opener. Sometimes you'll hear riders say, I just want to get through it. You know, you can not win it here. You can lose the season. It doesn't seem like they're riding that way for an opener, Brad.
Yeah, these guys are just leaving it all out on the track right now. The best thing they can do for points is, just get the best finish they possibly can. They're not thinking about that right now. They're just going for it.
Is that odd for an opener? Sometimes riders play it more conservative, or what do you think?
Well, I mean, you can't take any unnecessary risks. So, I mean, you can't ride over your head or ride over what the racetrack will allow to make a big mistake, because obviously that will hurt you big time in the points. But at the same time, you don't want to hold anything back, because, you know, right now is when the season starts, and, you know, one position could be the difference between winning or losing at the end of the season.
That's true, and you can see it. This is full 100% push. This battle here, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, really good as Daniels continues to try to find a way to bridge that gap to Shayna Texter-Bauman up front. Look at this pack. This is good stuff.
Yeah, this is a good battle for 3rd. We got Morgan Mishler and Brandon Kitchen now getting up in the mix. Brandon Kitchen ran really well last year, and Morgan Mishler, he's not one to follow. He's always looking for a new line. He's always really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, that's what I love about flat track. Look at Kitchen. He's at the back of that group. He knows he's got a shot by the end of this race to erase all that. He could be on the podium by the time this thing is over with that 5-rider freight train.
For sure, and that, you know, when you're in the back, that's especially what we're talking about for points. I mean, when you're behind, you have no choice but to push and go as fast as you possibly can to try to make up every position.
And he's got it. He's trying to make that move. No, he just gets shut down by the 13 of Mishler.
Yeah, Morgan Mishler and Brandon Kitchen, they train together all year long up in Pensacola, Florida, so they're no strangers to banging bars together.
Okay. Friends, enemies, whatever you want to call it, frenemies maybe. And look at Kitchen diving down to the bottom of the groove again.
He's trying to, but Morgan Mishler, he's trying the outside. I mean, you can't just follow behind the rider in front of you. I mean, if they don't leave an opening on the inside, you got to go around the outside. But that just allows for you to leave that door open for somebody to go underneath you. But look at Dallas Daniels. He's tracking down the leader now.
We now have a battle for the lead. Systematically, slowly but surely, Daniels has gotten to the rear tire of your leader. So it's Texter-Bauman against Daniels, 2 of the high-profile names. And wow, they have left the rest of the field behind.
Yeah, Dallas is catching up to Shayna, but in her defense, it's so much easier to follow than to lead. So Shayna's up front. She's just trying to pace herself, not make any mistakes, not trying to push too hard to make one of those mistakes where Dallas is behind her and just kind of using her to gauge off of. He can run it into the corner just a little bit deeper and make up that time. It's just, a lot easier to follow than it is to lead.
But how easy is it for him to pass? Is that going to be tough?
That's going to be really tough. I mean, she's not making any mistakes right now. And really, I mean, to be able to go around the outside, that you just got to carry so much more speed. So really, he has to look for either a mistake or press the issue and come in and get aggressive and make her move out of the way. But that's, taking a risk of taking yourself out as well.
Okay, so the clock, I believe, it's expired. So it's 2 to go here. And this is as close as Daniels has been. We got a real shootout for the opening round win.
You see him come in just a little wider. He's going to try to get it turned and get the run off the corner, but man, there just isn't a bunch of room there.
Okay, he's going to start high, try to go underneath. White flag is out, last lap, coming out of turn 2. Does Daniels have a line? Maybe into 3.
He's going to have to really bury it into the corner, try to get it turned. We'll see if he's able to do it.
Ooh, he's got daylight, he's got an opening. Can Shayna get a drive out of 4? She does. Shayna Texter. That's a big one. Takes the win here in Volusia, and in that huge battle for the podium, it's going to be another Yamaha on the box. Mikey Rush just able to hold off well, and that is a big one for Shayna Texter-Bauman. Here's the replay on the last lap.
Yeah, definitely a great job by Shayna. She just keeps her wheels in line. I mean, she won by over a bike length there. That was textbook.
Yeah, in flat track, that's a big lead. Here we see it on board. Did not make that mistake. Daniels gave it a look. Not enough. Let's send it to Kristen.
That's right, on her birthday, not just a win, but a decisive win after being winless in 2020. Shayna, to kick off the season in this manner, to be able to go out there and not only win, but for the majority of that race, have a gap lead on the rest of the field. You must be feeling good, but in those final laps, I mean,
Mikey and Dallas both putting pressure on you, especially Dallas. How defensively did you have to race in those closing laps?
Yeah, I mean, like Dallas said, I could definitely kind of hear him going. I couldn't find a lap or, how much time was left in the race, so I'm just keep going. All right, two to come, and just kept putting in laps and just trying to maintain. And, man, what a big win for me. I can't thank my entire Red Bull KTM team for sticking behind me. Last year was a little bit of a challenging season for us, just kind of kept swimming in the deep end, and we never gave up. They never lost faith in me, and man, I don't know what those critics are going to say on Facebook next, because I think I proved I can ride a motorcycle, and and it feels freaking great to be up here on my birthday. What better way to cap off the start of the season on my birthday, and I got a new last name, so this is awesome. And, thank you to all the fans for coming out, and my entire team, the Red Bull KTM team. Thank you guys so much.
So Shayna is back, going to be a contender for this year's title. That's always exciting. Yamaha boys right behind her. Then it's Whale, Dean, Kitchen, Mishler, Lowe, Bruner, and Ingerbritsen rounding out your top 10. And Wiles starts the season in a big points hole after the chain came off. Let's talk to second and third.
Kind of got held up by Max there for a little bit at first, and that red flag came out, and she got another really good start, and she's about a half straightaway ahead. And by the time I got by Max, I was chasing her down, or trying to, and I just realized I was trying too hard. And once I kind of backed down, I had a spot in her going into 3. She was not going in as hard, which, I mean, she's leading. But once I caught up to her, I think she saw my shadow, and she picked up the pace, and it was just all I could to keep it there.
Just our whole crew is just awesome. My wife back at home for putting up with me this off season. I know she's got a lot on her plate, but she's always behind me. My kids back home, it's awesome. It's good to get me and Dallas up on this box. At least we didn't get 1-2, but we're still on the box, so that's all that matters, I guess.
So one texter has one already. Shayna Texter reclaiming some ground in the singles division. Her brother Corey Texter looking to do that in the production twins class presented by Vance and Hines. That division's up next. Progressive American Flat Track is brought to you by Law Tigers. You never have to ride alone. By Cat Rental Store, the official heavy equipment supplier of American Flat Track. And by Progressive. Progressive insures over 5 million boats, motorcycles, and RVs. Get a quote in under 4 minutes at AmericanFlatTrack.com/progressive. Volusia Half Mile presented by Daytona Dodge. Okay, next class up is Production Twins presented by Vance and Hines. Once again, Kristen Beat and I'll take you through the storylines.
We have talked AFT Singles and Mission Super Twins. What's next, Jason?
There is Texter, still coasting, and he knows. He just found out he's the champion. Corey Texter is your 2019 AFT Production Twins champion.
Now, it's time for AFT Production Twins presented by Vance and Hines. And Corey Texter looks to take back the #1 plate as he stays with his Yamaha MT-07 and the G&G racing team.
To do that, he is going to have to beat some stiff competition. Johnny Lewis and Royal Enfield are back to build on their win at the Daytona Short Track, not to mention Dalton Gautier on his Vance and Hines-backed Harley-Davidson and 2019 singles champ Dan Bromley, all in the mix.
Long story short, 2021 looks to be a big season in Progressive American Flat Track.
You said it, Jason, so sit back and enjoy the show.
So highlights of the main, maybe the best race of the night. Chad Coast leads, Dan Bromley battling him. Here's the pass for the lead, then Corey Texter from way back gets in the mix as well.
Yeah, Corey Texter makes it count at the end, gets underneath Bromley. Bromley returns the favor, pushes him wide. Here's Chad Coast back to capper, so he gets a great run. Takes over the lead.
Right there.
Wow.
Coast.
Right at the end.
He goes from third to first in the last turn because of this. Bromley moving Texter high.
Yeah, pushes them up off the groove. Both of them get off the groove. Chad Coast sees the opportunity and takes advantage of it. Brings home the win on the Harley-Davidson.
He was so close to wins last year, but never got one. And this time he gets it, and he's excited.
I think you could tell by the aggression that we all had out there. And, I mean, this is what you have to do to win races. And, you know, I was a little disappointed they got by, made a couple mistakes, but luckily I was there to capitalize in the end. And I think any three of us could have won that race. I'm just glad we put on a show for the fans. And it's been tough for me to get here, but we're here and we're on top, and that's the goal all season. So, again, hats off to these guys. And, yeah, let's go.
All right, Chad Coase fires first in production twins. It's time for Dunlop Tire Talk. What's the hot setup here, Brad?
Well, these teams and riders have 2 tires to choose from. They got the 7, which is the harder compound, and the 5, a little bit softer. All the teams are electing to go with the softer compound, but what you got to do is conserve that tire, because if you go too fast, too hard at the beginning of the race, you'll overheat that tire and it'll go away. So even though the 5 works better, it doesn't have the longevity.
Ooh, so a little bit of a strategy game. There is Chad Coase. He won in production twins. Shayna Texter Bauman on top in singles. What about her husband? Can Briar Bauman, your defending champ, start the year on top? Main event is next. Time for the main event in the Mission Super Twins class. This is the creme de la creme of American flat track. We're ready for our first main event of the year here from Volusia Speedway in Florida. Send it down to Kristen Beat.
Guys, this is the feel-good story of the night. The rules development in the off-season regarding the electronics and the engine firing has definitely impacted the Essence and Racing Yamaha team, allowing these bikes to perform how they were built to perform. As we saw JD Beach claim a semi-win, a triumphant celebration on the backstretch. This team, JD included, has poured themselves into this bike. It may seem like just a semi-win, but JD is alive. He just told me he feels like he is back in the game, guys.
Yeah, I was talking to Tommy Hayden, the team manager, before this race. They were going to try the electronics. Clearly, they're happy with it. The Yamahas are good, so they can challenge the Indians of Briar Bauman and Jared Mees, who have been the dominant riders in this series the last couple of years. But man, Brandon Robinson has been fast throughout the day. So he's going to be one to stop, really. He's been the best guy every time they've been on track so far. Here's your Mission Super Twins main event lineup. I'm excited. I feel like anybody can win this one.
Yeah, I think so too, Jason. I mean, they don't want to see Brandon Robinson get the whole shot. I think if he gets out front, he's going to set sail. There's a lot of riders who want to take this over.
Absolutely. So can Robinson, 44 on the outside, can he keep this dream run alive, or will the win go to the riders that have been doing the majority of the winning the last couple of years? The Yamahas, such as that 95 at Beach, they've looked better than ever. Let's go racing!
Looks like a good start by Brandon Robinson. He's the closest to the racing line. Gets a bike hooked up, takes over the whole shot.
Okay, and it's gonna be Mees and Beach battling for the number 2 spot. Beach has it, and they're going at it already.
Yeah, Beach right in tow. See if he's able to keep pace with Brandon Robinson. This is a great showing already for JD.
Yeah, did not let Robinson get away. It's a little odd because Robinson, he has the grid choice, so he wanted to pick the outside, right?
Oh, for sure. If you can start closer to the racing line, that's where the traction is. So quicker you can get to that, the more you're going to be able to get the power to the ground and accelerate.
And it worked, but for how long? Beach, this Essence and Yamaha, they've got a hot rod. He is looking for an opening. He wants to lead.
Yeah, it looks like Brandon Robinson's actually holding him up a little bit. See him going to the outside here. I mean, JD, if he wants to get in front of him, he's going to have to set the pace. So let's see what he tries to do.
Okay, well, that was our story at the beginning. Who could take it to Bauman and Mees, at least very, very early in the opening round of the season? Beach and Robinson are the class of the field, although Mees still lurking in third.
For sure, you got Sammy Halbert there as well. I mean, don't call him Slamming Sammy for a reason. So let's see what Sammy's able to do.
Could get aggressive, but right now it's all about Beach. And we're on board with our leader, and he's gonna run the high line. Tucks back underneath.
He's looking at it. It's so hard to go around somebody on the outside. You got to carry so much more momentum. But you know, JD, you could try him on the outside. You know, rider might get a little defensive, trying to block on the outside, and then JD can swoop to the inside and take it over.
Oh, JD right there. They call him Jiggy Dog. Spent a long time road racing, now back full-time in flat track. Last year, a bit of an off season. They have clearly got the motorcycle figured out now. JD wants this win badly.
Yeah, JD is one of the fiercest competitors I've ever raced against. We grew up racing together in Washington State. He works so hard at this, and him and his team really deserve a good finish like this for how much effort they've been putting into it.
But you've got the Roof Systems Mission Squad of Robinson. They are contenders as well, and they pulled away a bit. As a matter of fact, it's closer. Mees has more competition from behind than in front, the 6090. Coolbeth Nyla Racing Machine. There he is.
You got the defending champ, Briar Bauman, in 5th. He's kind of losing sight of both Mees and Halbert right now, but this is a long race. Maybe Bauman's lurking back there, saving his tire. I mean, we talked about earlier about you know, you can't go too fast too early, or that rear tire could get hot and go away. So maybe Bauman's having a little bit of a strategy here, but seems like you know, it's a little too far away. He has his younger brother Bronson actually in 6th has caught up to him now as well.
Yeah, they are battling closely, so we'll see the chess match. Is anyone out there saving something to keep the rubber on the rear tire, or is it an all-out fight? I think Mies might be drawing up on the lead duo just slightly.
Yeah, and we got Colby Carlisle here as well. That's doing really well on the Yamaha. It's a good showing with him right on the backside of Jared Vanderkoy, his first time on the Indian motorcycle. Back to the front here. JD's still pacing Brandon Robinson. This is impressive. I would have thought that Brandon Robinson was going to check out by how good he was going both in his semifinal and the Too Fast, Too Tasty Dash for Cash.
Yeah, JD giving him all he can handle. I thought Mies was closing the gap a bit. Not really. It's about where it was. So it's still a one-on-one fight. The Indian motorcycle versus the Yamaha, and Beach still looking for an opening. Okay, Mies, I think, is starting to pick it up now, and he's bringing Halbert with him.
For sure, and like we were talking about before, these riders might just all be pacing each other. I mean, they say, hey, this is a long race. As long as you keep the other rider in sight, don't let him get away, and be there at the end. I mean, that last 5 laps, if you can pace the rider, obviously, yeah, that last 5 laps is most important.
SNS on board. This is Mies with Sammy Halbert right behind him. These guys have won a ton of races, the two of them. They battled it out quite a bit. Now they've got to work together to try to bridge the gap to the lead. They left everyone else behind. It is kind of surprising to see your defending champ, Briar Bauman, losing touch with the lead group. And look at the lead for Robinson. It's about as big as it has been.
For sure, and I love those onboard camera angles, and you can really just hear the engine, you know, how the rider is rolling on and rolling off the throttle. It's so crucial that you just easy on the throttle, not trying to spin the rear tire.
All right, stretch run is upon us. JD Beach trying to take the lead. The battle with Mies and Halbert trying to get to the front. This is going to get good. Brandon Robinson has led the entire race here, the Volusia Speedway Park half mile, but we're down to the final few laps, clock ticking, and when the 2-minute clock goes down to 0, it'll be 2 more to go. JD Beach on the number 95 is in 2nd. Is he waiting, Brad Baker, or is Robinson starting to get away?
I think Robinson's really starting to put the hammer down now. I mean, JD Beach, he's been there the whole time, and JD definitely doesn't get tired, and he always gets better as the race goes on, but you know, Brandon Robinson, I think he's probably just wanting to put the hammer down now. He's got a couple more bike lengths than he did before.
Okay, so Robinson, who's been so fast every time he's been on the bike throughout this weekend, we were surprised he could not get away from the field early, but now late, he's pouring it on.
Yeah, he really is, and got some great throttle control. You don't really see the bike slip sideways. Neither one of them. I mean, they're almost road racing the bikes around the way that they're tracking through the corners.
And they have left everyone else behind. Jared Mies, Sammy Halbert, 3rd and 4th. We're starting to close, but now in the stretch run, they pulled it back out. So that's what we wanted to see. Who else can get in there and battle the likes of Mies for this title? Might have 2 answers right here.
For sure. Looking at the lap times, it seems like Jared's about a 10th faster than these two, but now that they're closing to the end of the race, it's almost too little too late. Look at Briar on the backside of Sammy Halbert now. He needs to get by his Sammy. I mean, letting Jared and these riders up front, you know, one position at the end of the year could be the difference between a championship or not.
So Briar has struggled pretty far back in 5th most of the race. He has caught Halbert. Mies has gotten away from Halbert, but Halbert's stingy. He's not going to make it easy if Bauman wants to get around.
No, he's defensive. He knows how to make himself wide, put the elbows up, and if you get by him, he'll repay the favor too, so you got to be careful about that.
Clock probably going to expire the next time the leaders get to it, so we're probably looking at 2 to go. Bauman, a little daylight down on the bottom of the groove, but Halbert seals it off.
Yeah, they're both doing a really good job and not really making any mistakes. I think Bauman's going to have to get aggressive to get by him.
How badly does he want those extra points? Meanwhile, Halbert, he'll fight you for any position. It's not going to be simple. It might be a little risky to get in there like that.
Yeah, it's almost a replay of last year. Is he, oh, look right
Oh,
here,
it
going
worked.
underneath him, goes underneath, yep, pushes him wide. He went under the groove. You seen how he just kicked up a little dust? That made Sammy Halbert get off the groove. He got a couple bike links on him already now.
So Briar Bauman up to 4th ahead of Halbert, Mies 3rd. Beach is 2nd, but it has been all about Brandon Robinson throughout the day. And it's looking good now for the big one. The opening round main event goes to Brandon Robinson.
Look at the enthusiasm. There comes Briar Bauman in 4th place. Look at the enthusiasm of JD Beach, though. You would have thought that he won the race. I mean, I'm just really happy for that team and all the hard work that they put in. This 2nd place has to feel good.
Absolutely. The Yamahas are on it, at least for the opener. So a 2nd probably feels like a 1st after a rough season, but 1st actually goes to that 44 Robinson. He ended the year with 2 wins. He starts the year with a victory, and he swept everything today. This is impressive.
Really impressive. That's 3 in a row if you add the last 2 races of the 2020 season. Might be big things for Brandon Robinson this year.
You know, he was actually injured most of last year, and when he got healthy, ended the year on a roll. Could we be talking championship for the number 44? Let's send it down to Kristen. We'll chat.
Brandon Robinson closed out the 2020 season with 2 consecutive wins. So now 3 wins in 3 starts for B-Rob. Brandon, tonight, you were able to just show such efficiency on that track, and to be able to do this now and create this momentum, how valuable is that moving into the 2nd race of the season?
Yeah, the way 2020 ended was huge for me confidence-wise, just knowing I was injured pretty much for the entire season and still able to come out on top. And I went into this off-season just feeling a little bit more motivated, you know, feeling like this is the time for me. You know, it's now or never, really. And kind of with the extra effort, extra way, and you know, got a personal trainer this year with Dick Tibbetts. Guy's been helping me out tremendously. And man, the whole Mission Foods Roof Systems team, those guys put in so much effort. My mechanic, Ben Evans, had me dialed in pretty much all night, man. It was pretty much effortless out there. I was just having a lot of fun riding and just hitting my marks, and felt really, really good, especially early on. The main was a little bit trickier for me, but just everybody that helps us out, it's a huge, huge effort, and man, just blessed to be where I'm at.
So Brandon Robinson fires first in Mission Super Twins for 2021, but some great storylines behind him. We will catch up with JD Beach and the rejuvenated Estenson Yamaha squad, and they'll all be back tomorrow night to try to take Robinson down. Progressive American Flat Track is brought to you by Indian Motorcycle, official partner of Progressive American Flat Track. By American Flat Tracker, the official apparel of AFT. And by Mission Foods. Mission Foods has you covered with race day recipes that are too fast, too tasty. Well, a great race tonight for the win of the Volusia half mile. And this man that finished 2nd, probably as happy as the guy who did win it. Let's send it to Kristen.
Finishing 2nd has to feel like a win for you and this team. You guys have poured so much of yourselves into this bike over the last 2 years, and now to be able to take this bike to victory lane, not on a TT, but on a half mile, on a track that you could easily consider Indian's house, you brought it to them. How good does that feel?
It feels amazing. I mean, first off, I got to thank this whole team, the whole Estenson Monster team. I mean, they have been working hard. And second, I got to thank my family and my friends back home. The last year has been hard on them, is because when I don't do good racing, I take that home with me, and I know I've been hard to put up with. And then after the dash, I mean, I was going good. So to get set 2nd in this main event was just awesome.
Now the ever-determined Jared Mies, if he can't win, he certainly wants max points, got to get on the podium. This was the decisive move over Sammy Halbert, and that put the number 9 up to 3rd.
It just started clicking, and we started running them boys down, but we were so far behind. I mean, I think at one point in time we were almost a full corner, and at the end we were just a couple tenths off. You know, if I struggled the entire main event and pulled it out of me to get 3rd, I'd be like, hey, I pulled something together. But to be as fast as we were there at the very end and to come up 3rd with a great motorcycle like that, it's a little disappointing. But a big shout out to my team. They worked so hard today. We were so awesome yesterday, and then today we came in and things were just off. And my team worked hard, as they always do. Kenny Tolbert, Bubba, Jimmy, my beautiful wife, Nicole, and my awesome daughter, Hayden. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow already. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I think we got something for them.
Oh, the 5-time champ. He's not giving up on this for sure. All right, some good racing at the opener and some surprises, I feel.
Yeah, some great racing tonight. Everything was exciting. Awesome to see Shannon Texter bringing home the win. JD Beach on the podium again. It's going to be an exciting 2021 season already.
Hey, it's so good. Let's do it again. The second leg of this doubleheader is up next here at NBCSN. For Brad Baker and Kristen Beat, I'm Jason Wygant. Brandon Robinson on top.